City streets passing underneath stormy skies. Neon signs in the night, red and blue city lights, cargo trains rolling once again. Someone trains of winter rain, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains and in the sky, a star alone. Trains in winter rain, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains and in the sky, a star alone. Trains in winter rain, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains and in the sky, a star alone.
Times were changing over Britain. The common sight of a different diesel was ending, and the frequency of intercity 125s were growing. While they replaced long trains, the common short shuttle services were also replaced with DMUs. Though they were different by model, a typical train spotter hardly clicks his camera or jots a number down anymore. But if you are down at the Seawell Coastal Railway, the atmosphere is historic. Tanya, Jack, Clive, Doyle and Kate are all the hype of attraction to the senior train spotter. The younger enthusiasts catch on as well. Every sunny day you can hear, "Oh, if it ain't that little tank engine I saw with my granddad at Baker Street in the glory days." Or, "I have never imagined that I'd get another chance to ride a splendid engine like a Black 5 before I die." The engines always felt emotional, and they weren't the only ones. In the station car park you'd see Barry admired by old eyes. "You remember this one, John?" said the man. "Yes, I do, Larry," he said. "Old and reliable, or unlike these modern things." And of course, even Paddy would steam with memory men and school children reenacting Victorian experiences. Now these days the high-speed trains were in a new Swallow livery. They were proud but not snobby, for they were too rushed. A DMU, however, could be cruel or nice. Many of the crew come from the newer models, and the rest were a selection of predecessors who never learnt sense. But despite them, there were always nicer characters to talk to. The common of these was Don Young, who had learnt early from Doyle that cruelty can leave an engine depressed. He often did a service between Bristol and Moncton with two others called Marlon and Ernie, spelt with a U. Then there were three stopping intercities called Harry, Sonia and Tammy. All were friends with the SCR engines, though Don Young often wished he could interest a train spotter. However, these are another story. Stuart called on the engines one night with some news. "My friends," he announced, "a new tank engine will be arriving soon with some coaches of his own. In the interest of Great Western and need for more help, I have bought a Prairie from a private owner." Tanya was excited. "Also," he continued, "I have saved 6 diesels from scrap." "From what?" exclaimed the engines. "Scrap," said Doyle. "Yes, BR has reached its end with one-way locomotives. They have been beaten by high-speed trains and DMUs, so I have preserved 6, as have many other private owners and associations." "When do we expect them, sir?" asked Kate. "Well, they are being serviced first and are then being preserved at York. From there they will become recognised before coming down here, so about 6 months," replied Stuart. The engines were shocked. They felt sorry for them, but felt the suspense deeply. In the meantime, work goes on with the corridor line. During this time, there will be private-owned engines working as supplies. Times are changing. There is less we can rely on from BR, and we must change with the tide. At the rate things go, our harbour may become privately run as well. And with a look of darkness, Stuart went away, struggling to cope with the reality. "So much to take in," said Tanya. "Do you think we'll survive without BR?" asked the twins. "Of course," said Doyle. "As long as we turn with the tide, we'll be fine." It took some time for them to sleep that night. Doyle started to dream. It was dark, and he was on a run when a red light shone, and he stopped. A bang could be heard, and now ahead of him were boilers and fuel tanks burning on a fire sap. "No!" he shouted, and suddenly a 47 came from behind. "It's your turn," he said swiftly. Doyle tried to move, but he couldn't. Time to say goodbye. "No! Let go! Let go!" "Doyle!" shouted a voice. "What? Where?" Doyle was saying. And to his surprise, he was out of the depot on Jam Point. "What happened?" he asked. "You were sleep driving," replied his driver. "Your gears jammed, so when you started you revved too fast and your brakes were forced. The points derailed you, but you're jamming them." "What happens now? I can't let Kate out," he asked. "I'll help," said a stranger. There in steam was the tank engine. "This is Mary, the Prairie," announced Stuart. "He has arrived in the nick of time." Suddenly Tanya flushed water through her funnel. She had never seen an engine as hunky as him before. Luckily too much was going on for her friends to notice. "Mary, take over from Doyle this morning. We'll get Kate out by afternoon to take over, and you can have your rest while we carry out a full spot check. Tanya will take the first just to make sure you're definitely able to do this." "Will do, sir," replied Mary, and he went to the coaling stage for a quick check. The day soldered on with no more hitches, and the diesel news was hardly thought about, especially by Tanya. Someone new had joined the family, and finding out about him was their priority. So is Tanya really going for this newcomer? Well, next time we might just find out.
City streets passing by, signs in